Good evening, guys, and welcome to another episode of Old Fiddles New Life. Been quite a while since we've done one of these, but it's sailing season is over, and it's winter time, and I'm continuing to play my fiddle like I do all year long. So I figured we'd do an episode and get you caught up on where we're at. One of the things that I've been doing a lot of, and I encourage you guys to do it the same, besides just generally speaking, practice. One of the things I've been doing is learning a number of fiddle tunes. Actually, they're not fiddle tunes because they're written for harp by Turlough O'Carolan, an Irish harpist who lived from the late 1600s up into the 1700s and wrote prolifically so many amazing songs for the harp. And virtually all those have come right over into being able to play them for fiddle. I love it. I've already worked through and learned, let me see if I can glance over here. Blind Mary, which is the one I do the best. I'm going to do that by the end of this this Old Fiddles New Life episode. Blind Mary, let's see, Planksty Irwin, Seborg, I don't know how to pronounce it very well. Anyway, there's a bunch of them, and just great music. You need to look them up on YouTube. Just look up Turlough O'Carolan, and his songs are all out there, and played by a number of different fiddlers. Just excellent. It wouldn't hurt you to listen to them played on harp, because that's the way that he wrote them. Anyway, phenomenal Irish musician. He was born in the late 1600s, and what happened was, when he was 18 years old, he got scarlet fever and went completely blind. And thankfully, there was I think it was Mary McDermott, who became kind of a sponsor for him, and paid for him to have harp lessons. He learned the harp, and once that was done, and he got very proficient with it, he actually made a living for the rest of his life, going from town to town. I guess she bought him a horse and a guide, and he would go from town to town, and wealthy patrons would welcome him in, and he would play for them. Keep in mind, there was no internet. If you were going to have music at all in your life, you either had to learn to play yourself, or you were wealthy enough, you would hire a harpist, or another musician to come and play music for you. I know there were traveling violinists back in that time. Excuse me. Let's call them what they were. They were fiddle players. Anyway, and he lived and worked as a professional harpist for let's see, what was it? I think it was over 50 years, and finally at the very end, he came back home to Mary McDermott's place, and said that he'd come home to die, and played for her a final song. He called for his harp, played it, and it was called Goodbye to Music. And then he went upstairs and lay down on a bed and died. Tragic, but I'll tell you what, an appropriate way for a professional traveling musician to live out his life and die after doing one final composition that he played for a benefactress. Anyway, phenomenal. Okay, you need to look that up. So I'm going to play Blind Mary here in a minute. I thought that probably he had written this for his wife, because indeed, as a blind man, he had a wife, and her name was Mary. He didn't write it for her. He wrote it for another blind harpist, an Irish harpist that was blind. And he wrote this song that I'm going to be playing in a few minutes. But just so much great stuff. And I'm going to cut here and go to that, and I'm going to play that piece, and then we'll come back and talk. Okay, so we got some fiddling in, and we've got some discussion about Turlough O'Carolan in. I want to turn now to some talk about fiddles and bows. Um, One of the things that's been really bugging me about my fiddle, and I love the old thing, as you well know from if you've been watching any of this, this is an old fiddle, not a violin. The only reason I'm saying that is because this dark area. Um, Generally, violinists clean their instruments. Um, Fiddlers, not so much. Let's put it this way: I played in Maynard's Old Time Fiddlers, and just about everyone in that group, but me, hardly ever clean the top of their instruments. And what happens over a period of time, that the area that is allowed for the rosin to cake on there, it turns black. And this instrument, I had been playing it for a while, and I looked at it and said, oh my goodness, this had a life as a fiddle, not a violin. Okay, and understand it's the same instrument. I got all that, but anyway, and I love it. I mean, I think the sound is wonderful. Anyway, but it's really been bugging me because you put that right in front of my face. It was smart. It's really been bugging me because as I've been playing, and I play every night, to me, the D string sounds dead. And these are good. I'm trying to remember what these are. Anyway, these are really good strings. These are not cheap. Dominants. These are dominants. And I couldn't figure out. I played it and I played it, and why does the D sound so dead to me? I'm playing through the song, and all the other notes, the G, the A, and the E all sound perfect, like they got good resonance, all that, but the D sounds like it's dead. That's to my ear. And so I took it upstairs and I played it for Sharon. I played, Blind Mary for her. And she said, no, she couldn't hear it. By the way, my wife was a music major in college, vocalist. And so she could not hear the D sounding dead. So I decided the next day, okay, I'm going to go to what's called Vermont Violin Shop, which is actually in New Hampshire. I went to the Vermont Violin Shop, and I told the gentleman who runs the shop what I was about, the thing that was bugging me, and I played it for him, and he said, have you, in the first place, he asked about strings. I said, well, these are I played on them a lot, but these are good dominant strings. And so we kind of put that one out of the way. But then what he did, he went and handed me a bow. Okay, now I've been using this forever. This is just a cheap Glasser bow. I think I don't know, $40 for a Glasser bow. And I take good care of it. I rosin it on a regular basis, just almost every night, and it's adequate. But then I said, number one, you go ahead and play it, because I wanted to hear him play it, so that I could stand back. And this is one of the things they tell you if you're online, you're doing some research on trying to figure out whether there's a dead string or not, is go to some place where somebody's able to play, put the violin in their hands, and stand back, and you listen to it, not with your ear right into the instrument, but as an impartial bystander. You're just listening now from a distance, even if it's 5 or 6 feet away. And when he played it, I said, I didn't hear the dead D. And then he said, have you tried a different bow? I don't have a different bow. All I've got is a Glasser. He went over and handed me a wood bow. Not just any wood bow, and I'll tell you the price in a minute. He had 2 of them. Both of them were over $700. And he said, here, try this. And I played it, and I said, oh, it was shocking. I mean, all of a sudden, I wasn't hearing the dead D. And I don't know what the magic was, but using a proper wood bow. I dare say probably Pernambuco wood, which is that's the wood you use for good bows. And he said that one was about 725. The other one was 795. Well, I wasn't about to go shelling out for that. But at the same time, it just woke me up because I realized, you know what? A lot of this, me hearing the dead D, could very well be from that right there. That there's just an inexpensive glasser bow. Now keep in mind here, all these bows, whether it's the glasser or those wooden bows, all are using Arabian horsehair. Okay, yeah, I mean they're all using the same hair, but the balance is different and the weight is different. And he played it, and oh my goodness, he plays well. It was really nice to sit, and hear my instrument played by somebody else with a really good bow. Yeah. Okay. So that's bringing us to our next point. And when we next get together, I'm going to be talking about my project that I've got that is just starting. When that old man up on the mountain gave me this violin and a couple of others, he also handed me several bows. And I got to looking at them because I hadn't paid any attention to it. And I got to looking at this one. And what I read was, let me see if I can read it from here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ludwig Bosch was a bow maker back in the 1800s. And made exceptional bows. He became known as the Tort of Germany. In other words, by the way, Tort is a French bow maker. And anyway, exceptional bows. And I got to looking at this bow, and what does it read on the side? It reads that name. Okay, it reads Ludwig Bosch. From Leipzig, which is Leipzig, Germany. I think I've got that right. Anyway, but I got to looking at it, and it's got that name on it. Okay, here's the thing. Well, there are very, very few of the original bows made by him. Now, his sons made bows too. But Germany got hold of the idea that they could sell a whole bunch of mediocre quality bows just by stamping his name on. Very likely that's one of these. Apparently they put out thousands of them. But this is a nice wood bow. I mean, it's very beautifully constructed. You're not going to be able to tell, by looking at it online here and everything, but this just is really pretty frog. Very nicely done. Nice mother of pearl and silver mounted. Very, very nice. This was not a cheap bow. And so what I'm going to be doing in the next Old Fiddles New Life is I'm going to be building a violin bow jig. I built one a long time ago, and over the years I don't know where it is anymore. It's gone. So I'm going to build a brand new one, and I've got the plans for it. And if you look into it, I have not been able to find a duplicate, but I have hang on, I'll show you. Oops, here we're back. I have the plans for this in detail, very nicely done. And it's done by the International Luthier something. Okay, here's all the plans, every bit of it. And I don't remember how much I paid for these. This was a long time ago. But if you look into it, see if you can buy the plans. I know they have a kit to make the same thing, but I'm going to build it myself again. I'm just going to go get some real nice clear white pine, and you got to get some nice stainless bolts, and and wing nuts, that kind of stuff. And I'm going to put one together because what I'm going to do is I'm going to rehair. I used to, not this one. That's my glasser, but I'm going to rehair this bow. I used to do it all the time when I had a regular violin practice over in Pittsford, Vermont. I used to do a lot of bow rehearing. So looking forward to it. And that's it for this time. Listen, thank you for stopping by Old Fiddles New Life. Check out Turlough O'Carolan, okay? Check out some of his fiddle tunes online and learn them because they're great. They're just beautiful, beautiful fiddle tunes, ballads, and that kind of thing. And if you keep an open mind, go ahead and listen to them on harp because that's the way Turlough wrote them back in the day. And a prolific Irish musician, songwriter, and Ireland is very, very proud of their one of their forebears of music of Irish music. So, all right, guys, thanks for stopping by Old Fiddles New Life. We'll catch you guys on the next time around.